That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Hello to everybody on Twitter. Hopefully, you can all hear us. Do let us know if that's the case. Oh dear, 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 dear. It was a Desmond. In the end, it was a Desmond. So that was a lot of fun, I thought. But anyway, Justin is going to be adding in some of the 5-word reviews. We'll go through them at the end. So as ever, make a request if you want to have a chat with us. If you don't want to have a chat with us, but you just want to put your comments either in the YouTube link or, of course, the good old-fashioned 5-word reviews and the long forms. If there's anything you want to say, and we'll get to it all. I think really that's the important thing. Now let's try and get Justin in. Let's add him in as a speaker. Now we're trying things differently, and we'll see whether or not it's working. Justin, sir, can you hear me there?
So far, so good, Peter. Yes, fingers crossed. Everything seems to be working well.
Well, we speak very early of that. That's all probably going to go a bit tits up at some point, but never mind. Loads and loads to talk about this week, but there's been a game that I think we all want to kind of talk about, ideally. So let's get a few people on. Let's get Mr. Wendover in, who I spoke to before the game. He was again resplendent in yellow tracksuit top, but not the normal one, because the one thing Wendover gives you, he gives you a range. Wendover, Mr. Greg, how are you doing?
I'm all right, Peter.
Good. Well,
how are you?
I'm all right. I've just been thoroughly entertained by a 2-2 draw, and I think. Well, what did you make of today? Let's not worry about what I thought. Let's hear what your thoughts are on everything.
Yeah, I thought even when we were losing, we were playing okay. And I think we could be on to something. There is something to work on there. There is something to work on. Loved the second half. How long have we all been saying, can't we try 4-4-2? And that's basically what we had, after they scored. It was a 4-4-2. Loved it. There is a nucleus of something there to work on, and I'm liking it a lot. Wish we could defend corners, but maybe that will come because there are some more centre backs coming in. Yeah, entertained, mate. Entertained. That's what we do it for. It's not. If you go up, you go up. But if you get entertained and you drive home thinking, yeah, I've had a good afternoon, I was entertained, brilliant, loved it.
Good stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with going in and seeing a good old battling draw. I think there were a couple of sort of interesting things about the game, or particular things that people talk about. The fact that we started with with that 3-5-2 that has worked reasonably well, but the first half it just didn't quite work. But Southampton, and I appreciate that I've been chatting with Martin a couple of times, and he came on our opposition view, and obviously whilst they're not quite going at full tilt at the moment, they're still sort of recovering from everything in terms of, oh crikey, what's the phrase I'm looking for? But in terms of the hangover from being in the Premiership, it's always going to kind of hit you like six, And
yes,
but they still had players came in, I mean, they've got Finn Aziz, I should say, who today I thought looked really useful, bearing in mind he was signed on about Thursday, and he came in and he gave them a good 70 to 80 minutes. I thought he was very, very impressive. From that point of view, I thought Cameron Archer, somebody who until the Tuesday night when they played away at Norwich wasn't really quite firing on all cylinders. I thought some of the runs he made were really good, and there were a couple of times when you think, but we had some moments whilst we didn't really kind of challenge the goalkeeper in the first half at all. Iran Kunda is just irrepressible, isn't he? I mean, what a lot of fun that young lad is.
He is a bag of fun. That low level of gravity he's got, but he's strong as well. And very hard to push off the ball. Yeah, we've definitely got one there. He is a baller, is he not? He is a baller. Barr came on and does what Barr can do, get him one-on-one, out wide. That's where I want to see Quadro Barr.
Yeah.
And we got a good 40 minutes out of him, didn't we? Totally impressed. And we've got what have we got? A bit more. What's not 48 hours? How many hours are left in the window?
Are you trying to say there's 72 hours left?
It doesn't matter how many, but we've got till Monday night.
Yeah.
Monday night at midnight to.
No, it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 p.m.
I'm sure they're coming in. The names are already out there mooted. I think Ryan Andrews was waving goodbye at the end, which is fair enough. I'm taking €3 million for him all day long. He can go and play for young boys. I think they're in the Champions League, aren't they? Be interesting to see some Champions League players run at him. But I wish him all the best. All the best. €3 million. I'll take it all day long. Great afternoon's entertainment. Let's not forget Southampton were in the Premier League last year. Let's not forget the number 10 you talk about, Finazes, who I agree with you, played sort of in the hole, didn't he? He was 15 million quid. So, that's what you get for 15 million quid. We haven't got 15 million quid to spend on one player, but we matched them. We more than matched them, and maybe a little bit more. And there is a team that were relegated from the Premier League last year. So, we are improving. And I am mildly impressed so far. I'm mildly impressed. Cipriano, again, I thought a couple of loose passes, but he's a good player, isn't he? He is a good player. There were no 6 out of 10s there today. There were no 6 out of 10s. Jeremy probably had maybe his worst game he's had so far in this recent run, but he was no by no means a disaster. Think he might have come off holding his thigh muscle. He was, which makes which makes the urgency to get a second right back even more urgent. Yeah. I'm sure there's one lined up. Very happy. Going home very happy tonight. Mrs. W is cooking me a nice lasagna. Oh. Looking forward to that with a bit of salad. Lovely jubbly.
I was going to ask what goes best with lasagna. I think that's probably the most important question for tonight. Is it garlic bread or is it salad? Because I'm sorry, I'm in the garlic bread camp. Clearly,
might pass on the garlic bread, Pete, because I'm watching my weight at the moment and the pounds are still coming off. So she's made me a lasagna with a low-calorie cheese sauce and so forth, with a bit of salad. That'll do me.
For all those fans of Wendover, you've done a remarkable job. As has Justin. I mean, I've told Justin he's half the man he was. He says, no, I'm not. I'm about a fifth. But, what can you say? Well, before you go, Wendover, I'm just going to let you know that Toby Lancaster on YouTube has said, respect to Ryan Andrews for his service to the club. Even if he did fizzle out, maybe he'll be back one day. We'll see. Mal Williams said, agree with Greg. Could have something positive going on. For me, what the impressive thing was the fact that, the team came in and it was kind of basically the same starting lineup that we saw at Swansea, and of course that's no problem with that, because of course we all know how good that first half was, with Swansea, and this time it didn't work. And when we went a goal down, kind of relatively early on with that, I have to say I thought appalling defending, and for me, Cipriano had his worst game in a Watford shirt. That's not criticising the lad. That's just saying he's had such high standards. He made a few mistakes today, I thought, and he was one who was, along with others, kind of waiting for that ball to drop. I thought what we learned today was what is Petzolano going to do when we're a goal behind? Because I appreciate Norwich and all of that, and he made a change in formation and he made a change in personnel against Norwich. He did exactly the same today. I think what's really positive was that suddenly we changed, because the formation that we were playing was that sort of 3-5 or a 5-3, however you want to call it, 2. and Iran Kunda was playing him. It seemed to be as Mr. Parslow had put in a chat that I was involved in. It seemed to have gone from give it to Quadwo to give it to Nestori and see what he can do. That the change to go to I mean, you call it a 4-4-2. I would have called it a 4-2-3-1, but we're splitting hairs. When you bring on Doumbia and Semedo by the end, it was just about a 4-4-2. I agree with you entirely, but I thought that was really quite interesting to see the fact that he was prepared to make that alteration, make that change, and then in the second half you saw that roar as the ball's going towards the rookery, and we're playing with pace, we're playing on the counter attack, and we're doing some good things. That's really good to see. That's really good to see. Melanie HK says, sitting in Cafe Nero on the high street, waiting for my Wenzels, too good to go, and getting emotional over Ryan Andrews. She says, well, yeah, it's a shame. We all know that players are going to come and go in the player trading market that we have. What will be interesting is I believe the ruling is you've got to have a player who has come up through the academy. Who would you have coming up through from the academy if now Ryan Andrews is going? Because he's always been the senior of the academy progressed players. Wendover, what do you think, sir?
Maybe Namin Abizada, is that his name?
Nabizada, yeah, could be.
Maybe Jack Greaves, because the coach seemingly likes him. Yeah, there's a few there to choose from, isn't there? There's a few there to choose from.
Very good.
But I agree with you, Pete. We've seen a coach today being able to change it from the bench.
Yeah.
And change it positively from the bench. And I don't recall a coach doing that really since Jukanovic. Yeah.
Yeah, he was very.
So yeah, full marks today. I'm liking it.
Good
something
stuff.
to work on.
Good stuff.
Something to work on.
Good stuff. There was the question about, and obviously you're up in the, I'm in the cheap seats, whereas Greg is up in the expensive place, rattling his jewelry, and the free kick for the Southampton guy, and it was taken well, and fair play to Ryan Manning, and there's no win, but that referee seemed very, very odd, and he moved that when they put the little foam down in order to kind of mark out 10 yards. Well, when the ball is very near the quadrant of the D of the penalty area, he seemed to move it back about 12 yards from where I was. Everybody was before the ball nestled in the net, and a great strike. You can't criticise it. It seemed to go an awful long way back.
And I also thought he played advantage, and then he let it go to the second phase and then he gave the free kick. So they almost had sort of like two bites at the cherry.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a strange referee. I would imagine he's at home. He's nearly, when he gets home, he's going to spend 3/4 of an hour looking in the mirror at himself, because he was another one of those, wasn't he? That seems to, all quite toned and hair all done, and like the guy that we've had on 2 away games. I think this new breed of referees coming through, maybe like seeing themselves on the television, possibly. But hey ho, I thought he was an odd referee, but I'm happy.
Good. Well, I mean, Toby Lancaster says it's also great to see some front foot attacking football, which that was in that second half. That was, well, the whole game, in fairness to Southampton, was kind of a bit of a ding dong. We'll go at you, you go at us, and obviously Iran Kunda irrepressible in the first half and trying to get things going in the second. But when we made that shift and we brought on, both Barr and Rocco Vata, that was a substitution that really worked, because it was, don't forget, the person who put your Barr in was Rocco Vata, stepping off the left, doing that sort of like inside right, and finding him, and suddenly we had that kind of, as I say, that rookery roar as the ball moves forward towards them. That really sort of got us going. It seemed. I was most pleased with it all. Good stuff.
Likewise.
Good stuff.
Peter, can I just jump in?
Of course you can.
You're a little bit Dalek-ish on X.
Am I?
It's a little bit maybe Dalek-ish. That's probably the best way of describing it.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm finding that as well, mate.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Well, we try these things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'm going to invite Justin to co-host, and then what I will do is come in on another device and see if we can't make that work a little bit better. We try these things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Justin, if you just want to jump in as a co-host, and then we can move on to that, and we can go from there.
I think I am now co-host, Peter.
Lovely stuff. Okay, well,
That's much clearer, Justin. That's much clearer.
I'm going to catch you back in. We're going to go old-fashioned. Catch you in a minute.
Okie dokie, no problem at all. Right.
I'm going to do a spaces in the week where on it is going to be Reza and Alex King. That going to talk about their experiences and what they can bring to the supporters board.
Okay.
And they're going to welcome people to come on to ask them some questions. I'll pull it on
that nicely.
I'll pull it out on X when I get the date confirmed.
No problem. Thank you, Greg. See you soon.
Cheers, Justin. See you, mate.
Bye. Right, let's see who else is hanging about. I can see the big Lebowski is there. I've now got to try and remember how to bring him in. Let's try pressing this button.
I'm back. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, Peter. Yes.
Is that any better, or am I still a robot?
No, I'm happy with that for now.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
All right, good to it. I'll remain the co-host in case this falls over again.
Okay, let's get in. Brett, hit your mic button and let us know how things are. Oh,
come off mute, Greg.
Brett, are you there, sir? You're hanging on speaker. No, one of those things. Well, X is always an interesting.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
He's there. He's there. Where have you been?
It's a bit of a nightmare. I'm trying to. I've been away. I'm now driving, and there was a bit of a hairy moment. I was trying to press my mic button, but I've been. I was in Greece and then Norfolk, and unfortunately, I was away for the 3 games in a week situation, which was very annoying. It just feels like I missed half the season. But anyway, that was catch up.
Can I jump in here? Adam Drury has just tweeted, Paolo Pezzolano confirms the imminent departure of Ryan Andrews. Sometimes players need a move for their development. Goes with the best wishes.
There you go. Players moving on. You've been interrupted there, Brett, for transfer news.
Well, he did it. That was breaking news. That was very exciting. He did his hair for the occasion, didn't he? It was his goodbye hairdo.
Well, yeah, he's had that blonde thing going on for a little while. It was interesting
there
that he was on the bench.
That's what I said. I feel like I missed half the season.
Well, there you go. Anyway, sir, come on in. You've been away to Greece. You've been getting the videos into us to letting us know kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And everything. What are your thoughts on everything so far?
Well, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I'm pleased. Iran Kunda did it for me again, so I could see that live with free kick, and I actually filmed it because I thought, well, you never know, and that was excellent. It was. I actually thought we were on. We had the upper hand. I feel like there was quite a lot of side passing and hanging around our half, and that felt like, if we could have front-footed it a bit more, maybe we could have snatched it. And the other thing was, it was a shame Iran Kunda. I mean, we wouldn't be too harsh on him because he could have created himself a couple of goals there, and he basically ran through a load of defenders and then didn't quite have enough to bury it. In the first half, he did that a couple of times. And I thought that was just a bit of a shame for him, and you could see his frustration. And I thought, I hope he doesn't get affected by that, but clearly not.
Well,
which is great.
I thought what was so nice about that change to in the second half to go into the 4-2-3-1, which I'm going to call it as that, where you had in the first half everybody clustered around Iran Kunda whenever he got the ball, because they went, oh crikey, you can see what he can do, and they kind of got around him. Whereas in the second half they sort of did that and then went, oh crikey, we've got Vatter on one side cutting in and doing kind of good work, and we've got Bar on the other side, and you've still got Nestory, kind of flying around, being a force for good and popping up on free kicks as well. I thought that really opened it up. I thought we did okay in the first half. I just thought for all of the keep ball and for all of the kind of moving around, we just didn't really trouble the goalkeeper. Whereas in the second half, I think we sort of started to, if that makes sense. Is that fair, or am I being unfair on everybody?
It just felt like the urgency picked up, and I mean, look, the reply to their goal, to get that free kick and then obviously bury it, and then from there it was like, wow, I could see a 3-2 coming, and it was look, it's very exciting. I think Bar is obviously, there's been rumbles of him not being, up to speed or on the pace that we've seen in the past. And I think that today he really showed what we've seen, what we saw last season, and that's very exciting. And the team are looking for him all the time. They're just thinking, let's kick it out to him and get him on the run. So that's extremely exciting. I think when it comes to the whole tippy-tappy in our half, I just feel like the defenders, like between Bowler and Kevin, it was like they didn't seem like they wanted to go forward until obviously late doors. Bowler was starting to push the ball out to the front, and because there was a lot of urgency, but it felt like, as you said, in that first half, from a defensive point of view, it seemed like they wanted to pass side to side rather than forward. And given our midfield and attacking players, I would just try and get it forward on every occasion. But look, overall, very positive. They're tipped as one of the ones, that to bounce back up. It is a hard game, and as Wendover said, coming back from the Prem, it's one of the big games for us, and I think it was exceptionally good. Again, to say that Pezzolano's subs, great timing. He didn't wait till the 65th minute, which was very, very. It turned out to be extremely well. Probably, got us the Desmond really to bring on the subs at that point rather than wait. So. Great to see that proactiveness. I'm actually I don't know if anyone's going to mention his yellow card, Pezzolano getting a yellow, but I actually quite like that. I quite like that there's a bit of intensity from the manager, that he's fired up and he gets his yellow. Well, let's see what happens.
It's interesting because he's now the third. It's the third yellow card that somebody from our bench has got in three league games that we've had, because we had one at Swansea, we had one on the first day. Was it the first day at Charlton? I think it was. I'm pretty sure for going around and talking to the goalkeeper. And there was another one today. No, I don't think there's any lack of passion, but it's it's good to see that come onto the pitch. You mentioned there earlier on that there's been noises about Bar. There've been noises about offers being made for him, offers about Loser as well. It's kind of in terms of people. We're going to get to the end of this transfer window, and especially with this being kind of frozen in terms of things like Isak and all of the players not moving to not wanting to leave Brentford or not wanting to go to Newcastle, what have you. A lot of those other clubs down further down the Premier League are going to be looking and wondering, well, who can we go for? And they'll be looking for what's the best around in the Championship. And you do wonder whether or not we could maybe keep hold of him. It was a really good reminder of from Quadro there today of the impact he can make. And the question is whether or not, do we start as a 3-5-2 and then switch to a 4-2-3-1? We seem to suddenly have a little bit more, perhaps tactical flexibility, because he's going to go out. Which element and which personnel is he going to deploy? Are we going to go all out and try and knock their door down, or are we going to keep it nice and tight with that sort of three at the back first of all, and then change it? We'll see.
Really like that. I really like that from him. I think that's really good signs at this point of the season, to be seeing him trying out different things, and also the personnel that we've got that are able to switch around as well.
Yeah.
So that is very promising because we all know to challenge in this league, in any league, you need squad. You need to be able to switch players around, be flexible, when you get injuries or when someone's off the pace. So that having all that flexibility on the table and him willing to show it is really exciting. The other thing that I was thinking while I was away, when I was catching bits of highlights and stuff and seeing him on the screen, I was thinking, you'd sometimes think, God, it does look a little bit like Rob Edwards sometimes.
He does.
And then I thought, it's like the actual, this is what we were meant to have with Rob Edwards. We didn't get it, so we've gone for the Uruguayan Rob Edwards instead.
He's slightly less Hollywood than Rob Edwards. I mean, I don't know if anybody remembers, but when we got Rob Edwards, Sky started sending us better looking kind of reporters to come in kind of. Otherwise, they just basically kind of have these fuglies in his beautiful light. Yeah, well, Middlesbrough top, aren't they? So they're doing all right. But yeah, no, I like our Uruguayan, slightly less aesthetically pleasing.
Edwards.
Yeah.
But it's great to be back. It's great. That was the last thing I wanted was my first game back to be a loss, which we were staring in the face of because of that bastard Adam Armstrong. But actually great, absolutely brilliant. Good to be back. Good to chat to you, Pete.
Good stuff, mate. Good man.
And
okay.
Be in touch.
Good stuff. Well, we look forward to seeing. I mean, let's face it. Obviously, we're now going to go into the international break, so the prediction league is going to momentarily take a pause. So but the week after next, look out for Brett coming towards you with dice and a video camera or something like along those lines. Yeah, I like that from Toby. He said always good to see that. Thank you very much. Richard Fairbanks said about tricky connection. He could hear Wendover, and he said I was cutting out. I hope this is a bit better, but this is just something that it might be part of my rig here, and I'm trying to take various things out and load them in. Hopefully it's better. We will see. It's all good on YouTube, says Toby. Thank you, Toby. Much appreciated for that. Milchman said no sound issues on YouTube. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Now this I did like. Elliot said the substitution today was spot on, unlike in previous matches. I agree wholeheartedly. We may have a manager here who wants to be innovative, and sometimes if we're in the ascendancy of a game, don't be. Just see it out. Game management and all of that. Let's have a look. First half, he said we were poor, no creativity in midfield, and no wingers, meant no service for the front two. When we changed to 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 or 4-2-3-1, whatever we want to call it, it worked a treat. He said, I want to see Bart wide right, end of. He's not having any alterations to that. I like that a lot. Let's get to Caden. Caden, sir, you've been waiting there for a long time. How are you doing?
Well, good evening, Peter. Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Well, before we get to we're going to have a little discussion, I think, about the transfers and the transfer windows after we've spoken about the game, because obviously you've got some news for what you're going to be doing on Monday, but we'll do that at the back end. Let's deal with this game first of all. How did you see events at Vicarage Road today?
Well, look, first I'll just start off with the negatives of today.
Right.
There wasn't
pros and
many,
cons, right.
But there's always going to be a negative to a game with Watford. I thought Kayembe once again was absolutely dreadful. I thought Elaine looked shaky at times.
Yep.
Sissoko was dreadful in the first half. And I just want to give you a stat here about Kayembe and Sissoko in the first half. Kayembe and Sissoko turned the ball over to Southampton 15 times in the first half. 15. And if that is what's acceptable, it's baffling to me. And the last kind of negative of today was the referee. He was suspect at times today. That Ryan Manning free kick shouldn't have happened because he played the advantage. They took the advantage. There was no foul, and there is no way that was 10 yards. That was more than 10 yards. That was 12 or 13 yards, not 10. I don't know what the referee's thinking. And I agree with Wendover about the referees. The new breed of referees, they are dreadful, aren't they? But we always seem to get shafted. But a great point at Vicarage Road today.
I do have to say, and I don't like keep coming back to Caden's age here, but I can tell you now, referees in the 80s, 90s, and 70s, they were pretty awful as well. But yeah, you're right. We do seem to be going through, bearing in mind, the rules are fairly straight, and kind of there's I didn't like him today. There seemed to be one where he kind of there was one where I thought you should have given a yellow card there, and you didn't, because Nestory was getting basically rolled over by their number 5 Stevens all the time, and then Nestory went and got somebody, and it was like, that should be a booking, and he basically went, yeah, I'm not going to give you a booking, because he couldn't, because he hadn't given it for the previous 2 or 3 kind of offences on Iran Kunda. So, yeah, never mind. Okay, so you got the negatives. Let's get the positives then. What are your thoughts in terms of today? Because it felt to me like an enjoyable. People have said front-footed football, and I like that. Mal has said, is Iran Kunda our new Igalo? Now that's a shout out. What were the positives?
Well, first off, the man of the hour, Nestory Iran Kunda.
Yep.
Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he? He's one of a kind. He is one of a kind. He is absolutely awesome to watch. Great subs from Paulo today.
Yeah.
For the first time, I've actually agreed with his substitutions, which is fantastic.
What?
And it was a great time to change the tactics, because previously some of his substitutions have been awful. I mean, in the first game against Charlton, for example, because I don't think I've spoken to you since the start of the season.
That's true. We have
bringing off Loser and bringing on Kayembe, suspect. But that game happened. Today was brilliant. Bar, fantastic once again. I thought Vatter was brilliant when he came on. Really, really good performance from Rocco today. And it's just brilliant to see that he's come back from injury and he seems like the old Rocco again from today. It was brilliant to see. So very, very pleased with that.
good stuff.
Boller looked really good again. I think Caleb Wiley's definitely got a kind of run for his money against Mark Bowler. Because I don't think Caleb Wiley gets into the team straight away, knowing the form that Bowler is on.
Okay.
He was brilliant. I thought Cipriano was fantastic today. My man of the match with Iran Kunda a close second. I thought Kierkegaard was quiet, but no means awful. I thought he did some good things, good holding of the ball and things like that. So yeah, he was okay. Obviously, didn't get on the score sheet, but you're not always going to.
Okay.
But yeah, good from him. And then just finally, just a farewell to Ryan Andrews. One of our own, one of our academy, but he just wasn't good enough. But I wish him well ahead of his move to Young Boys, and I wish him every success out there, because he deserves the success. But it just didn't quite work out with the Orms.
Yeah, which is a which is a shame, because I think everybody probably agrees he came in and he was looking really good, and he didn't quite make that step up that everybody was consequentially hoping for and expecting. But I think he was sort of caught between two stools. Was he a right back? Was he a right wing back? Everybody thought right wing back because he's got pace and he can't defend, basically, was the reason people were placing him in right wing back. And I saw a note from Uncle Ron the other day when he said, hearing about it, he said, yeah, okay, I get it. But it's a shame because I thought he might do what Southampton, when they first had Kevin Phillips, he was a right back. And he said, he got converted to a forward. And you look at the things that Ryan Andrews can give you. And it's not like he doesn't have heritage about a forward line because his old man played for Watford and had a good old career around the kind of League One sort of level, League One, League Two. That he might not have jumped. But I agree with you. Now he's gonna move away. It probably sometimes helps people to get a bit of a jump start on their career if they feel they've fallen into a little bit of a rut. And sometimes moving away just helps them grow up a little bit, in and of themselves. Jack Reeves went up to Ross County last year, principally to kind of get out of your comfort zone, go and do that and see what you can do. And like a lot of Watford fans, I look at all of our former players and I look at them literally all with a pleasing note when they do well. And yes, that includes Ashley Young, even though Carlos will be exploding, shouting the words Manchester United celebration at me currently, but never mind. So I thought he was, I thought he was good. Good. It's hope he goes on. Now, let's talk about the transfer window because everybody will. Well, I'm sure most people will know that Caden has the Hornet Talk podcast, and you've got a bit that you're going to be doing. You're challenging yourself and your guys there for a bit of a monumental effort on Monday with the transfer window. Tell everybody what you're doing.
Well, first of all, thank you, Pete, for letting me speak to everyone about this tonight. So Monday, obviously, transfer deadline day. In a first time for the Hornet Talk podcast, we are live streaming from Vicarage Road on deadline day. We will be live on YouTube. Sorry, it's not Twitter Spaces, but we can't accommodate it with what we're doing. But we hope to see as many of you there as possible. We're going to be having guests along the way, and we'll be running it from 4 o'clock until the deadline shuts at 7 o'clock. We'd love to hear from you, whether it's, comments or whatever. Just we hope to see you there. Just to make you aware, if you didn't know how to get notified, etc. If you hit subscribe onto the Hornet Talk YouTube channel, then it will come up with a notification bell. If you select all notifications, you'll get 2 separate notifications, and it'll be one half an hour before we start, and then there will be one at 4 o'clock when we hit record. And as I said, we can't wait to see as many of you there as possible. It's going to be a monumental effort from the team, but I'm sure we can pull it off. They are an incredible team. But yeah, transfer deadline day live from Vicarage Road, live on YouTube.
All right, well there you go, everybody. You can look out for that and see how it see how that goes. 3 hours on YouTube outside the ground. This is going to be a logistical challenge. But you two can go along and see how that goes. See how it goes indeed. Keep getting told. So we're down to having to change wires and plugs and maybe even a soundboard because I'm sounding a bit odd still. People tell us so. My apologies, everybody on X. We will overcome this this thing because it's not actually anything related to YouTube. It seems to be just. I've got my suspicion as to what it might be, and I'll get my way with it. I'll get it sorted. Let's get across to Thomas and see how Thomas is. Oh, Tom, you've dropped off, sir, in the nicest possible way. Let me remove that. Okie dokie. We'll get to if you want to make any points, or if anybody wants to just kind of add anything on today, it's absolutely fine. If you don't wish to, we would then go on to have a look at other things. In terms of the league table, Watford are in 14th place on 5 points. So basically 1 point, or rather one place, but practically almost identical with Southampton in terms of having we've scored 5, conceded 5, and it's have we conceded 5? I'm trying to think about that. Yeah, I suppose so. The top table is Middlesbrough on 12 points, so they're 100%. The only team at the moment on 100% there. So West Brom are in second, Stoke City in third. So they tripped up today. Leicester City in fourth, Coventry City in fifth, and Bristol City in sixth. So what do we need to do to make a run into kind of into the playoff positions? We will see, but it's very, very early days. We know it's a marathon, not a sprint. Let's get across to Mr. Neil Silverstein on the South Coast and see what he thinks about things today. Neil, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Peter. Hopefully the same for you. I've only just listened to Caden and that's it. So I don't know whether I'm going to counter what others have said or whatever. But no, yeah, interesting game. And just picking up a couple of points that Caden made about the wall being significantly more than 10 yards. And I think I made the point in one of the spaces.
Yeah.
Southampton had exactly the same. So I watched it, not at my house, I would say, but on a delayed version of the game with the Southampton commentary. So really, I quite like watching that because you get a different perspective on it. And they made the point that they had a free kicker in the first half where the wall was about, funny enough, 12 or 13 yards back. So is consistently unable to work out what 10 yards is, I would say, that ref. But they were saying the same, that there was two occasions where the referee actually gave the foul. One of them was the not given goal.
Yeah.
Where literally blew up whilst the ball was in the air.
Yes,
it's like he decided that he was going to give a foul no matter what. It didn't matter what happened. It was going to go. So yeah, the referee was consistently shit. But as you said, that's been the way since probably about the 70s when I've been watching football. But no, I thought today, was a really promising display, character in abundance. To come back from going behind twice, that's something that I don't think I've been confident of us doing for many times. Interesting enough, KMB was lauded by the Southampton commentators. And it was really impressed. Yeah, really impressed with their energy across the field. And the co-commentator was Joe.
Oh,
we've lost him. Neil,
are you there, sir? You were doing so. What can you say? Spaces is always fun. Let's see what.
Yeah, I think we've lost him here, Peter.
Oh, that's a shame.
Our defence.
Oh, there you go. You're back. We lost you. There momentarily. You were saying Southampton. Sorry. You were saying Southampton thought a lot of KMB.
Yeah, thought a lot of KMB, and also a Banqua, and they made the point that it's amazing how young our defence was, and I think sometimes we forget that.
That's very true.
So, very, very proud. I mean, fantastic free kick. And, just to wrap it up, I also wish Ryan Andrews all the best, but only because of the 50% sell-on clause that I understand we will have. I mean, for me, he is one of those young players that it's not just at Watford, it's in the game in general. They kind of change agent and they kind of have I guess, an opinion of themselves and an ego that I guess their experience and their ability doesn't quite match, and that they then start to get beyond themselves. So, all joking aside, for him, I do hope that he has a really good career and he does well from it. I just think sometimes people need to keep their feet on the ground.
No, I agree. I agree. What are your thoughts on this? Because we've seen this obviously with Iran Kunda coming across, where we're benefiting from signing him for a reduced fee, but Bayern Munich retain a 50% sell-on clause. In the past, if people remember, and Tevez going to West Ham was the biggest kind of notoriety about this, was that shared ownership was illegal of a player's registration, and this seems to be sort of getting around the same sort of thing, but via a transfer kind of clause. I get the idea of sell-on clauses. Is this starting to get to a size where FIFA might sort of look at it and go, no, I don't think so, because it's effectively the same thing. Surely it's owning a percentage of a player's registration rights and potential transfer sale, isn't it?
Well, I think technically, thinking about it, by the way, I've not done any thinking about it, so you put me on the spot.
No, sorry.
I think the fact of the ownership is very different because you kind of own the player, and whether that's morally right or wrong, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it's an entitlement to 50% of the profit. So there is a slight difference of it, and I think the fact is that Bayern will benefit from whatever we decide he gets sold at. Whereas if it's 50% ownership, then both parties have to agree to whatever the deal looks like. So I think there's some subtle differences. For me, what it says is that Bayern rate the player, that he's got a lot of potential. Because I think the bigger the sell-on percentage that's in the deal, the more the selling club rates that player. And also, I think it gives them some protection if they wanted to buy him back, as you've seen with Trafford going back to Man City.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think someone once said to me a couple of years ago, or I think it was on one of the radios, probably the most important role at a football club now is a finance director. And I think it's probably a financially led mechanism that's meant they do this. And there's probably some PSR impact as well. I'm not sure. But whichever way, it's a win-win for everyone, because if he goes for big money, Bayern do well, we do well, and the players done well. That can't be a bad outcome, can it?
No, not really. Should be. I think it's positive, and I get your point in terms of, and I suppose the difference is that somebody like Kia Jarabshan, who was the agent most contentious until Moji kind of homed interview for all of us, obviously. He was, you could have a third party who wasn't a registered club owning the rights to the player. And it was sort of that was a little bit odd, but it makes sense that only clubs can own the registration of a player and be entitled to that, beyond obviously as we say, agents and their like. Lovely stuff, Neil. Lovely stuff. International break coming. We're on 5 points. How do you feel that sets us up for kind of moving forward? Are you relatively happy with 2 draws, a win and a defeat? I mentioned at the start of this that we've only been conceding, we've only been behind in a game until today for literally about a minute, but we kind of today changed it and we saw something. Do you feel better about looking forward to the end of the transfer window and combat resuming shortly?
I think we've done well. There's good signs from both individual players. So K9, because I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. He is evolving and growing, and he's learning the game quite quickly, as are most of the signings that I've seen. And I'm quite comfortable with the progress. Also, I'm kind of warming to PP, because he's kind of seems to be adapting and learning from his mistakes. Which I kind of think is a really important thing. So I'm kind of, if it was doing the old school report, it's probably about a C+ to a B so far.
Yeah.
As far as looking forward after the break, I mean, I think until the window shuts and 3 hours YouTube coverage about a Watford transfer window, that's going to be some task to keep that interesting.
Oh, quite.
I'm not sure what sort of activity we'll get. I mean, clearly there's names that have been touted around, and that will very much make my decision or my view different about the outlook. But as it goes, I think there's promising signs. Probably a little bit more optimistic than I was when we started the start of the season. So yeah, it's good, and I can't wait to avoid football next weekend.
Yeah, well, it's a weekend off for everybody, isn't it? So it's the international break, so I never like that, but one thing I do like is a call from Mr. Neil Silverstein. Neil, sir, have a great fortnight. Really, that's good, lovely stuff. Let's get to read some 5-word reviews before I take a hatchet to a particular lead that's coming out. Just in case it's that, we'll get it sorted. We will get it resolved. As ever, by the way, guys, if you're listening to it, but we always put it out as a podcast, which always has the sound much enhanced from anything that you're broadcasting on Twitter Spaces, simply because you're condensing all of the sound to go through the one channel. And if my thing's playing up, it's also a problem. Right, let's get to the 5 words. Just before I do that, actually, Justin, sir, if you're there, You and Carl met with somebody today, I believe. Justin, are you there, sir?
I am.
Yeah. So you were up at the Red Lion. I was down and around the bunker, and we were doing all sorts of various things. But you met somebody today.
Well, we were doing our sort of little bits where we try and get some Vox Pops to put out on the social channels. And someone called us over and said, "Oh, talk to this chap." And it was Luca Kierengard's brother, who was a delightful chap. Really, really nice guy. We had a chat with him. Kierengard's girlfriend was there, and Kierengard's brother's girlfriend was there as well. Afterwards, he said to me, "Oh, which channel's this going out on?" So I showed him. He said, "Oh, he'll love that. It'll make him smile." So, yeah, great stuff. He was a nice guy. They're all wearing away tops with Kierengard 9 on the back. They were easy to spot, very tall as well, but yeah, really, really nice. So that was a nice little surprise, actually.
Now having met a bona fide Kierengard, let's mispronounce it for the last time. How is it supposed to be pronounced, do we think?
It's on the video, PT. You'll have to watch out for that later on.
Oh, what a tease. That's the kind of clickbait nonsense we don't normally do. Did it inadvertently. My apologies. Let's get to the 5-word review, see what people say. Frankie Holiday says, Iran Kunda highlight, real wank tonight, he says. Well, Frank, enjoy yourself there. Keep warm. Sounds like you will. Kevin Burnett says, better with best players playing. Vic Bate says, irrepressible young players change game. That's a nice one. I like that. Let's exactly say what we just heard Neil say, which was plaudits to PP, because we've turned around and said, really, the substitutions haven't really helped in previous games, and today, fair play, got it right. Sissoko and KMB need replacing, says Ben. Yes, 15 times conceding that possession in the first half, according to Caden. I'm not sure if that is correct, but I tell you one thing, it bloody feels like it was. I thought that the midfield we were overrun in the first half, and there were a few things that Sissoko did that I thought were really, really good, but it was a problem to try to get any form of momentum through that midfield, and I thought they overrun us in the first half. We got it back with a change in that second half, so credit to Petzolano. Fully deserved point. Encouraging, says Nick Smith. Dr. Dickie Sutton says free kick thunder from down under. Alan Ray says ours was better than theirs. Well done, Alan. That's the kind of petty thing that I enjoy. Togetherness and resilience. Sweet point, says Alan WFC. Silgerman says, haven't been this excited in years. I believe in coach and team. Casper Campion says, need more shots on target. I agree, especially in that first half. It was odd. Walking in a free kick wonderland is Simon Parkins. Absolutely. Iran Kunda, best Australian since Johnson, says Carl Campion. Have we had any other Australian since Richard Johnson until Iran Kunda? Is that the timeline? Iran Kunda, Watford's free kick saint, he says. Harry says the free kick, the bat flips, sensational. Willie Eckers, like Alec says 2 wonder strikes. That's all. Can't be good for 90, says Pete Joyless Jones. Gaz Northwest Orn says finally a free kick specialist. I mean, it is 2 in 2 games, and let's not forget it was 5 years, I think it was, between Alman Abdi scoring a great one against Aston Villa in a 3-2 win, and who was it? It was it was Messina, wasn't it, away at Cardiff, which basically the Cardiff keeper more or less fell into the net. So yeah, Gaz, you're right. Finally, a free kick specialist. Building something at the Vic, says Adam S from the US. Sean Walsh says a glorious game of football. I agree. I really, really enjoyed the game, and it felt, even when they scored their goal, and I'm sort of spitting chips about the 12-yard kind of wall back, and it's interesting that Southampton had the same thing. So clearly the guy needs to go to kind of weights, measures, and tapes. I thought it was a really good championship fair. Sometimes we've had some poor ones. That one I really enjoyed. We never score set pieces, says Steve Woolley, who's now, I should imagine, blindingly drunk, because now we just need to sign Grealish to win us free kicks outside the box now, says David Sweet. I'm sure he's playing somewhere. I can't remember where. Colin Hosier says, in the words of Paul Weller, that's entertainment. Police car and a screaming siren. It was great. I loved it. Jason, wow, now that exciting football. That boy is ultra special, says Chris Brearley, Yellow Army. And Jack Foster from the States says, shockingly, things working out when you play multiple athletic wingers and move Sissoko to his natural position. Now the lads just need to pass it to each other instead of the other team. Yeah, no, that's good. I like that. I like that very much indeed. Let's get to the final long forms, only 9, and then everybody can make sure that they're out and about for Saturday night and setting themselves up for tomorrow's hangover. Dr. Dickie Sutton says, if Bachmann was in goal for their free kick, he'd be getting pelters. I rate Selvig, but he should be doing better there. Okay, that's good. I thought he was a good striker, I have to say, but I thought he was going to bend that over top right. That's where I thought he was going to go, and he didn't. He absolutely belted it into the bottom left as they were looking. Wendover Clobber Watch, sensational feeler yellow top. Yes, it was. That's Alex. But then again, Alex is bound to give him compliments because he's going to be going on and talking about the election for the supporters board, which we mentioned the other day. Have a look. Peter Connections, brought to you by iFollow, says Lee Moke. I'm sorry, Lee. I will be taking a hatchet to this thing very, very shortly. Ella Vater, hello Gary, says enjoyed the second half. Class free kick from Iran Kunda. Thank you, Frank. Frank points out that I think, yes, I may be a Dalek. I apologize, everybody. FIFA can fuck off, Peter. He also says, Mozza, sort your connection out, Peter. Can hear 1 word in 3. Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll get it all out to you on the podcast, and we will get this overcome, I promise. Wendover Horn said, why is Gino Sell the Club doing a live YouTube from Vicarage Road on deadline day? Nothing happens at the Vic on deadline day. He and his team should be camped out at the entrance of the training ground at London Coney, where the action or non-action from previous deadline days have taken place. Well, that's down to Caden. If he wants to go through, he might be sitting there resplendently on the Graham Taylor statue, or there might be lots of logistical reasons why doing it in the middle of London Coney isn't possibly right. Who knows? It might be good. Would love to hear the end of your sentence. I apologize. Snowboy says a good result. Romania, everybody. The young team are beginning to gel and look good. ASA Targu Mures won 3-0 against Kampalung Muscle to go to the top of League 2 in Romania. Top podcast like this. Let's enjoy Iran Kunda while we can. He won't be with us long, says Andy Hornet 8. That's it, Andy. You find the problem. We'll just escalate it. Mike might need adjusting. No. It's trust me. It's coming through fine on YouTube. It's there's a wire and a connection, but hey guys, you don't need to hear about that. That's all far too dull. We will get it sorted one way or t'other, even if it requires an investment. But there we go. Justin, sir, what were your last thoughts on the game? An enjoyable 2-2, an enjoyable Desmond, but you're looking forward to the international break finishing and things resuming now after?
I always look forward to international breaks finishing because I hate them. I'm not interested, Peter. The season gets started and then you get stopped with one of these international breaks. I thought that was a really entertaining game today. I think a point is fair. 2 very, very good free kicks within a couple of minutes of each other. While Iran Kunda was lining up to take that free kick, Gary, who was sat next to me, did a motion with his hand where he thought the ball was going to go, and it absolutely followed the motion of Gary's hand. It was just a really sweet free kick. So I really enjoy watching Iran Kunda play. I'm looking forward to seeing him play more. It's really good. And we've still got Loser to come back when he's off his suspension. Chakvadadze at some point in January, whenever it is. So, lots to look forward to. Really good. I didn't think I'd be saying that sort of 60 minutes into the game, maybe. But, really enjoyed today. Really good.
Good stuff indeed. Well, look, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Apologies if you've heard 1 word in 3. Trust me, with me, that's probably 3 times as good, but never mind. We will be back after the international break. We'll be with the normal kind of stuff. But the last thing to say is, you Horns.